What's up, everybody? Your boy Heaven Hollywood. Welcome back to Members Only. Here you get the exclusive information on exclusive topics that you can't get anywhere else on my channel. If you do hear this anywhere else on the web, no more or less my channel, either one or two things has happened. Either one, you're hearing it from one of my affiliates, in case you didn't know, or Naj the admin, or someone is bootlegging my stuff, or they have sent someone to infiltrate members only, get the information from them, have them bring it back to them, and then they're going to bring it to the people like it's an exclusive when they're really just biting our stuff. So that's the only two ways you'll hear it. But let's get to it. Everybody's buzzing. Like I said, this week I'm going to be doing nothing but Pink Friday 2 and Nicki Minaj exclusive. Everyone knows only I bring you the exclusive that you can't hear anywhere else, and I give it to you days, months, sometimes years before it happened. Okay. Tonight at midnight, Pink Friday 2 is coming. All right? There's been a turn of events that Nicki Minaj did not expect to happen. And because it is happening, she is now making late moves. All right? The whole Gag City thing took on a life of its own. She was not expecting it to do that. But now that it has, and TikTok and everyone has gotten involved in it, okay, you're going to see challenges. Now you're going to see Gag City challenges wherein you're going to, it's not going to be like dance, but it's going to be like you're going to make your version of Gag City. It's like the Gag City challenge on TikTok. They're going to have you doing that. But because it's trending, and then other celebrities will make things like, Ariana has landed in Gag City and stuff like that. Since you see that happening, shout out to the Barbs, man. You have to give them credit. They're a crazy bunch, but when it comes down to Nicki Minaj, you have that. It's only the Swifties, really, in my opinion. They've already surpassed the Beehive. At least this version of the Beehive. Because you have to remember, the Beehive is getting older. Beyonce's fan base don't really get younger. Nicki Minaj has been able to generate a younger fan base. Beyonce fan base is usually a fan base. She doesn't usually get new fans, right? Most of these fans have been riding with Beyonce for years. So the Beehive is getting older, more mature, less time to follow Beyonce. But Nicki Minaj has been able to transfer her energy into this generation where she still has teenage fans. Some of her fans still are new fans. So that fan base, other than Taylor Swift, and BTS, of course. I'm not really going to count BTS, but other than Taylor Swift, it's the Barbs. So you got to give them credit. So expect something late on the album. If she can't get on, because it's kind of late now to put a Gag City record or to put a Gag City intro or outro. Maybe she can do an outro. If not, she's going to put out a deluxe. These are her plans, to put out a deluxe, and a Gag City record maybe on the deluxe. All right? So, and you can expect if it's an intro, of course, it's going to be very LGBTQ heavy. She might be able to put like a little skit, maybe able to fit a little skit on Pink Friday 2. If not, expect something pertaining to Gag City on the deluxe or remix or something like that. But from what I hear, she's probably working on a record on Gag City. If she can't get, worst come to worst, it's going to be something. Now, again, She's working hard now in the midnight hour, trying to get it on the actual release. But words come to words, she'll do it after, because she did not expect the whole Gag City thing, which is a brilliant idea by her. It's a brilliant marketing scam because, again, remember, folks, keep this in mind. Nicki Minaj is marketing this album by herself. She's not getting any help from Republic. And I see Republic in the comments, you know, throwing up the praying hands and the hearts and this and another, but you didn't even help her promote this album. So, I don't think Republic should get any credit whatsoever because they did nothing to help her. Nicki Minaj is promoting this basically online and through her fan base. So, regardless whether you like Nicki or you don't like Nicki, don't like the Bobs, this is a brilliant marketing plan. And what happened is she used her fan base as she does a lot. Like her fan base to me is the reason why she's still rapping and competing, because she was ready to hang it up. Like when she had the kid, she was, remember, she was like, I'm retiring. She was ready to hang it up. But it's her fan base, and especially that whole hate train situation that she went through, she was ready to hang it up. But her fan base keeps her going. And, you got to give them credit. It's absolute, celebrities are now saying, oh, we're going to Gag City. Such and such is arriving in Gag City. So they're going to make that a whole TikTok viral thing as the album is out and being played. You have to come to Gag City to listen to the album. She's having an album party. And what she's now talking about, and you have to remember, she's talking about this with, she doesn't have a manager right now. She's managing herself. So she does have people, assistant and people to talk about certain things with her. Karen Civil and others close by her. She's thinking of implementing this into the tour. She's going to definitely into the tour. It's going to be on stage. They're thinking about, putting a little bit more into the stage show, having the Gag City little thing in the back, and then when she comes out on stage, she walks out that door. Like you see the thing that I have, you see in the background, right? Something like that. Thinking about putting something like that on stage, and when she comes on stage, she walks out that door onto the stage, which would be absolutely dope. It would be something like in the past. Now, reason why we have Nas up there, people have been asking me about the Nas stuff, information with Nas. Now, the Nas and Nicki stuff, like the breakup was a little bit more nastier than they initially let on. If you remember, when Nicki and Nas first broke up and she dropped Barbie Dreams, she made a comment, oh, if you're on the record, that means we're on good terms. The only reason I put you on the record is if I feel as though we have a good enough relationship where I could put you on the record. If you remember, she put Meek Mill on the record. Right? She mentioned Meek Mill. She mentioned Quavo. She mentioned Drake, of course, and other people. She did not mention Nas. Right? Notice she didn't mention Safari. She said people she's on good terms with. She didn't mention Nas because they had a bad falling out at the breakup, even though when she was on Ellen, she tried to make it seem as though, oh yeah, I am celibate and, we have sleepovers, but, you know what I'm saying? So, but it was a nasty breakup. You throw Kenny into the fact. Nas and Nicki Minaj wanted to try another record together because they really fell short, and how the record, the Tracy Chapman situation, really put a dim on that record, and they just feel as though they missed an opportunity for a moment. Now, since the 50 years of hip hop was rolling around, they had planned to come back together, not get back together, but come back together and do a record a right way, a hip hop record, like them that they was trying to, the moment they was trying to capture, but there was a lot going on at that point in time. They were together as a couple, then they having issues as a couple, and then the whole Tracy Chapman thing just threw everything off. But with Kenny in the mix now, Kenny don't really like Nas. I mean, he's not gonna like anybody who's an ex-boyfriend of Nicki. So as you know, he made her unfollow all her ex-boyfriends. Not that she's on good terms with him anyway, but he was gonna make her unfollow them all anyway. Nas recently, from what I was told, when Nas gets tipsy, he starts talking. And he tweeted something out by mistake and ended up deleting it. He was on a comment of somebody, and they asked him, they said something like, you miss the queen or something like that. And then he said, I'd be lying if I said I didn't. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. As in he didn't miss her. So, trust me, I'm sure that got back to Zoo Petty somehow, some way. But Nas is telling people behind the scenes that him and Nicki should have never broken up. They keeping it, pretty quiet, and as we all know, it's murky on the final reason that they broke up. You hear a lot of different stories. There's been a lot of different. I can't put my finger and pinpoint one specific thing, but it's probably a little bit of everything. Now, remember, I always tell people when it comes to these type of things with celebrities, the first story is most likely the most accurate story. And the very first story I heard was that Lauryn Hill, who's very close with Nas, told Nas that they weren't a good match, that she wasn't good for his brand. She's not, Lauryn Hill was, we all know Lauryn Hill, there's no love lost for Nicki Minaj. Even though she got on her knees in the fur and all that, Lauryn Hill really has no love or respect for Nicki Minaj. Even though Nicki mentions her all the time as being her idol. But that's the first story I heard. Lauryn Hill got in his ear, right? Then, of course, I heard that he felt as though she was still in love with Meek, or she was talking to Meek behind Nas's back, right? Then another story I heard is that Nicki found out that Nas was seeing somebody else. Still seeing his ex. So there was a lot of different things. I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle. I heard like 3 different stories. But the Lauryn Hill story was the very first story I heard. But he's admitting to people behind closed doors that it was a BS reason for them to break up, and they should have never broken up. And he has talked in the past to people, and I'm not going to tell you who because I know this person very well. He has told them to their face they should be together right now, and they would be the biggest power couple in hip-hop history. But it didn't work out that way. She's a married woman now, so we'll see what the future holds for Nas and Nicki. And at least, at the most, maybe get that record over, because that record was a disappointment that they did together. And they both feel the same way. They both feel as though that they missed the moment with the record, and they would love to get another shot at it. So hopefully the stars align waiting to, but where that happens. But at least people can know from my sources that that comment was real. People was asking what the comment, but the comment was very real. That was Nas. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the Gag City. Great job by Nicki Minaj. You just got the exclusive here on Members Only.